Hey Dan, finally getting around to making some videos for you. This is the first of the saga videos, the Ring series, if you want to call it that, where I have to take the one hammer to nail them all and get to the volcano and back and hopefully survive. So, I guess this first video, I'm going to start off with a funny story. At both of the stores, I have water softeners because, as you may or may not know, the water in Winona is incredibly hard, like 21 grains or 23 grains of hardness per blah, blah, blah. Anyway, as comparison, I think it's 3 in Seattle. And so I did have Culligan come in and replace the water softening equipment at the stores because for a couple of reasons, just to be more efficient. But I had 2 water softeners, one at the Huff Street, the cafe, that was not working, and one at the drive-thru that was working. So I thought, well, that's perfect. I've got the money pit now. I should take one of those water softeners over, the one that's working preferably, over to the money pit, install it in the basement. That way I've got softened water there as well for when we get the new water heater. And if you don't know, hard water, what it does is it just, it shortens the life significantly of any equipment that actually heats water, such as a water heater. So I get over to Mankato, the drive-thru, and I've got Glenn's truck, and I thought, well, I'll just put it in the back of the truck. And I thought, hell, how am I going to do that? Well, fortunately, I had a couple of the planks, which are, maybe 2.5 feet wide, maybe 2 feet wide. They're probably 2 feet wide. By 8 feet long, and they have 3 hooks on the end of each side, and what they are for is for the scaffolding, because it hooks onto the scaffolding. And I had 2 of those in the back of the truck because I had just come from Winona Rental, where I was renting the scaffolding, and I needed a couple more planks, so I went and rented them, or I got to pick them up. So I thought, this is perfect. I will put those ramps in, coming right off the tailgate, down onto the ground. And then I can, with my appliance dolly, which you have seen that dolly, right? Because that's what we use to get the safe. I think that's what we use to get the safe into the basement at the cafe when you helped me so many years ago to do that. So I strapped it onto the dolly. And when I went to try to lift this thing up, it was one of those things where it's only 3 feet tall, maybe 2.5 feet tall. But it's like a cube of lead. I mean, it was so heavy. Now, it did have 70 pounds of salt in it because the staff had just filled it. It also had water in it. But outside of that, it's still really, 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 really heavy. So it's literally all I could do once I had it strapped onto the appliance dolly to get it tilted back. Well, as soon as I tilted it back, I realized that one of the tires on the appliance dolly was flat. So I'm rolling on one tire, one flat tire. So I'm able to roll this thing out to the truck. I get it out to the truck at the edge of the ramp, and I realize there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to get this up that incline plane into the back of the truck. So I call on help from the staff who were just switching shifts at the drive-thru. So Joe and Raylyn came out and helped me. So they pushed. And what I realized that even still, I wasn't going to be able to pull it up that incline plane. It was still that heavy. So what I did is Glenn had a tow strap in the back of his truck. So I tied it off to the handle of the appliance dolly. And if you remember that appliance dolly on the handle up near the top, it has 2 small wheels. So you can literally lay the entire thing back and roll it like a little 4-wheeled flat cart. So my idea was we could lay it flat onto that, onto that inclined plane. I tied the tow strap off on the handle, and then I went up and around. I drew a picture. Up and around the roof rack. So that what I did, this is me, is I was able to put my foot against the cab of the truck and pull that ratcheting strap with my back to the appliance dolly. And as they pushed, I was able to pull this, I'm pulling, walking away from it, walking actually towards it as this strap pulls it up and around, up that inclined plane. It worked great. We got it into the back of the truck. No problem. Drove to the money pit. And I thought, well, how am I going to get this out now by myself? Well, I'll just do just the opposite. It can't be that hard to get it out, right? All I have to do is go down the ramp. So I did the exact thing, the hard part was getting it over the edge of the ramp here to where I had to just get it going downhill while holding onto that strap with one hand. Somehow I did it. I was able to do that. I was able to walk back towards the cab of the truck while it went down the ramp. And I thought, I am brilliant. I can't believe nobody has a video camera, a phone running right now, recording this because I'm so clever. I want to show this off to all my friends and neighbors. So I get it onto the street. I wheel it across the street, up the driveway, through the gate, in through the back door. If you remember, there's a little half set of steps coming down from the kitchen onto that landing. And that landing is where the side door comes in. And then there's 8 steps down to the basement. So I thought, well, I'll just lower it step by step by step as I go down into the basement. So here's a picture of what that looks like from the landing looking down into the basement. So I got down the first step and I realized this is going to be a whole lot harder than I thought. So, and the problem is I had it leaned way back, but with each successive step, I have to tilt up a little higher because, obviously I'm hitting as I go down. I can't lean it all the way back onto the landing because now I'm losing that angle. So with each successive step, I have to get more and more upright, more and more to that, I would say to that point where it's balanced between going forwards and going backwards, which is a dangerous place to be. So I thought, now what do I do? So for the next step, I literally sat on my butt. I wedged my foot against the corner going up, to the kitchen, and I went down another step. Now at this point, I realized I'm in trouble. I don't have my phone with me. It was in my jacket. I'm holding on to this thing. I can't let it go at this point. And I thought I have no recourse but to continue. So what I did was I stood up, I crouched down as far as I could. I held onto it with all of my might. And now the problem again is I had to get it over the edge of the step. So I give it a little push. It bumps down to the next step and then literally catapults forward. I can't keep it from going. It wants to return, to perpendicular. And literally as it does, it pulls and throws me like a trebuchet right over the top of it into the basement. I ended up rolling. I was able to roll out of it when I hit the ground. Now, granted, the water softener and the dolly were following behind me, so it threw me over. I rolled out. I landed. I came to a stop. Of course, the first thing I did is I checked everything to make sure nothing was broken. Nope, nothing's broken. And then I turned to look, and now, of course, there's water coming out of the water softener, getting all those, pooling on the floor. There's salt everywhere, but still plenty of salt in this damn thing. And so here's a couple more pictures of what that looks like up the stairs and what this, water softener looks like now. And it doesn't look that battered in this picture, but it took a beating. The whole side was cracked. I didn't feel like I was going to be able to use it ever again. So I went from thinking how clever I was to thinking, God, I wish somebody had shot this on video, because this would have been hilarious video for Dan and Brad to see. Anyway, the long and short of it is the water softener was no longer usable, but it was now in my basement. So I had to get it back out. There was no way I was going to move it by myself. So I waited a week, and then Pepe came and helped me. Now, you know, Pepe's got like these giant cañones, right? He gets down on the bottom, and I'm on the top pulling up the stairs, and it's all we could do to get this thing out of the basement. It was that heavy. So I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to get it into the basement in the first place by myself. But anyway, that's my story. Video number 1 of the saga of the hammer, and I'm sticking to it.